the governor have not been able to work together. Both of them do not realize that they are in office to work together for the peace and good governance of the state. The latest security report made available to me show that between yesterday and today, there have been disturbing incidents of vandalization of pipelines by some militants without governor taking any action to curtail them. I have, of course, given stand order to the security agencies to ensure safety of lives of good people of Rivers State and the oil pipelines. With all this and many more, no good and responsible president will stand by and allow the grave situation to continue without taking remedial steps prescribed by the Constitution to address the situation in the state, which no doubt requires extraordinary measures to restore good governance, peace, order, and security. In these circumstances, having soberly reflected on and evaluated the political situation in Rivers State, and the governor and deputy governor of Rivers State having failed to make a request to me as president to issue this proclamation as required by Section 305, Paragraph 5 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it has become inevitably compelling for me to invoke the provision of the Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State with effect from today, 18th March, year 2025, and I so do. By this declaration, the governor of Rivers State, Mr. Similaye Fubara, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Oju, and all elected members of the House of Assembly state are hereby suspended for an initial period of 6 months. In the meantime, I hereby nominate Vice Admiral Advocate Ibas, retired, as administrator to take charge of the affairs of the state in the interest of the good people of Rivers State. For the avoidance of doubt, this declaration does not affect the judicial arm of Rivers State, which shall continue to function in accordance with their constitutional mandate. The administrator will not make any new laws. He will, however, be free to formulate regulations and may be found necessary to do his job, but such regulations will need to be considered and approved by the Federal Executive Council and promoted by the President for the state. This declaration has been published in the Federal Gazette, a copy of which has been forwarded to the National Assembly in accordance with the Constitution. It is my fervent hope that this inevitable intervention will help to restore peace and order in Rivers State by awakening all the contenders to the constitutional imperatives, binding on all political players in the Rivers State in particular and Nigeria as a whole. Long live a united, peaceful, secured, and democratic Rivers State in particular, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a whole.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Is Tinubu's solution, a state of emergency. So Fubara and his vice, they will no longer be governor and deputy governor of Rivers State by that declaration. Just like that. You know? So while the military, the new, military head, or should I say the new administrator, is on his way, right, to take over the states. Prior to all of this, here are the few call to order from different people within Rivers State and outside Rivers State as well. here is a Reverend, did they call him Reverend Buba? Remember the pastor earlier?
Well, Nigerians, I am coming to you with a very, very heavy heart. And I think we all need to rise up as a people. Our behavior as a people is not right. I come as a pastor, I come as a priest, I come as an intercessor. And I'm grieved. This thing that is going on in River State must stop. Wike, you must stop this thing in River State. You must stop it. You are no more the governor. I don't care whatever the story is about the governor. He is the governor, whether he betrayed you or not. You must stop this evil. You must stop this nonsense. We cannot continue to be having people messing up our nation. Supreme Court, some of the Supreme Court judges are sat on that panel. You can see what you're causing. The Supreme Court, you have lost your honor before the citizens of Nigeria if you don't know. It's time for you, the judiciary, to begin to restore your credibility. People cannot be walking their way, one person manipulating all of you. Look at the way you are behaving. Where is the hope of the average citizen? Nigerians, please, we need to begin to speak to these people. It's painful to see the way things are going down in the country right before our eyes. We're losing the system. Democracy is being attacked. Haba, let's rise up together and stop this wickedness. The other thing is about Jackson, the young man that was defending himself. I have encouraged Nigerians, especially in the north, to defend themselves against the terrorists that come in the form of headers. The young man ended up defending himself, and the Supreme Court passed a judgment to say that he will die by hanging. Then where are we heading to? Where are we heading to? I plead with the governor of Adamawa State, please grant this person pardon, because this is self-defense. I know what I've gone through even some weeks ago in my farm with some of the Fulani headers. Let's begin to do things right in the nation. And the Senate, I am speaking to all of you senators of Nigeria. It's time you redeem your image. The nonsense going on in the Senate does not speak well. It's a shameful thing that the senators of Nigeria could not stand to defend what is right. Look at the way Apapio is messing up your entire integrity. Nigeria, I plead with you, let's stand together to recover our nation. Things are going apart, and it is the people that have more power than these ones that are in the political position. We can stop that nonsense. Supreme Court, you better behave yourself and redeem this country of the destruction that is going on because of your conflicting judgment, some assaulting on yourselves. And I want to say that senators of Nigeria, remember, power is transient, but God is the only one that has eternal power. God is the only one that has all the power.
I agree. We'll leave God out of it for now. Pastor, we've delivered it. Conflicting judgments, which led to what you are currently witnessing. Tinubu taking his own position on the side of Wike, obviously. Then he has appointed a retired rear admiral or something to take over of River State. A man who indeed we have now figured is also very much Wike's friend for a very long time. Just on the side, it may not really count for anything, right? On the side, right, it's been Wike's pal anyway, among others. So there are reports of the military moving into Port Harcourt and so many parts of the state as we speak So the local government election being scheduled for August, 6 months from now, 5 months from now, is never going to happen. So what does this mean? Here is another person who is also from within. This one is like within the Rivers right now, one of their leaders.
So Tinubu, if Wike can cause Jonathan to lose his election, he will make Tinubu to lose his election. Wike's sole ambition is to be president. And that is why he's fighting a seat. He wanted to take all the money from River State to waste them as he did when he was a governor. I thank God the same Wike has gone to court to remove the perpetual injunction which Odili obtained. And so, when that injunction is removed, we shall see his fate. He will account for all these billions and billions and billions he gave to different states, who also earn from the same federation account. So we are not bothered. Whatever he has done, the Niger Delta have told Nigerians, Pandef has told Nigerians, this is the state of the matter. There's an uneasy car with the Niger Delta. We need to nip it. Otherwise, he will not come to blame us. Because at the end of the day, say leaders. Yaradua came, thought military can help him. The more the military bomb, the more the oil production went down. It was Yaradua himself who summoned the meeting and gave us amnesty and Niger Delta Ministry. Wike has encouraged Mr. President to remove the Niger Delta Ministry, and it's also encouraging Mr. President to remove amnesty. That's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. It's also encouraging Mr. President to remove the MDTC, MD, to give it to anywhere. There's nothing we can do. But history will judge when the time comes. So for me, Wike is rather a problem to Tinubu than even Niger Delta. And it's left to Tinubu to decide whether it goes with Wike or it goes with the people. What I mean, people is not the Niger Delta. I said Wike is showing seat of conduct, seat of discord with the north, the east, and the south-south. So, Mr. President should watch. The next stage Wike will attack is the southwest. It will sow seed of discord between the southwest, and Mr. President will be left alone. And what will be his fate? 2027, which Mr. President thinks Wike will give him, if Wike will disappoint him. Wike is destroying PDP today, thinking it's working for Tinubu. It's not working for Tinubu. Nigerians are smart. You can see what is going on now in the country. The APC people, governors and former governors, are moving to SDP. The same thing he did.
On the political side, everyone is on the edge right now. I kind of like the analysis of this guy who decided to remind everyone. This are just before today, these are before today. Listen to this one.
Let me place a caveat here that I'm neither from River State nor somebody that's politically inclined to the parties involved.
Yeah.
Therefore, I am looking at this issue from a very dispassionate issue from perspective, and also looking at it from a kind of intellectual viewpoint based on philosophical thinking of somebody watching by the sidelines. Having stated this, I think this notice of impeachment which the House of Assembly River State has served or has transmitted to the governor, I think is one of the most outrageous examples of brazen impunity within the political system of this country. It is so sad that in this era of globalization and multiculturalism, where we have standards being set as examples of how conduct in democratic settings should be, we have seen a kind of reign of tyranny where we've seen political issues being looked at from a perspective of combative nature on personal issues. To me, I've seen the issue of the governor and his perceived godfather or his godfather, taking the angle of personification. It seems as if it is a personal fight that is coming on board that has been able to look at the political system of this country from a viewpoint of an anomaly. It is something that is sad, it's something that is unwarranted, and I think we have to have a reflection, a kind of sober reflection on what is happening. Bearing in mind, the River State, as important as it is towards the economic emancipation or the economic trajectory of this country, will have to be dispassionate. Let us look at the issue, and we should be circumspect of the fact that Rivers seems to be a kind of, seems to be a kind of a bank, so to say, of Nigeria's economic fortunes, where we've seen that this political issue, let me sound a word of caution to Mr. President. I think, on all honesty, he should look at this issue dispatchly and see to the possibility of getting this in the board. Because I see the way and manner, the combative nature that Wike and the governor are taking, which has wrought onto the House of Assembly, taking a very dangerous dimension. I can see the boisterous nature, the loquaciousness, and in fact the disdainful way and manner of speech of which Nelson Wike has been doing on Rivers, affecting the ethnic nationalities and also affecting the political system. It is a very dangerous. It's just like placing...
Well, he said it was quoted out of context if you're referring to the Ijo matter.
No, but yes. I saw him live on your channel. I mean, they were there. Channels were there. They were interviewed. He was interviewed by panel of...
because it has become a tribal wahala. So, with this new approach, which is the introduction of a state of emergency by Tinubu, the entire game has now changed. Yeah, it simply means that Fubara now knows that the huge masquerade behind the Wike's audacity is Tinubu's regime, and it has taken shape to say, listen, it is now going to be us versus you guys. And in that process, right, we are going to make it pretty much look like we are punishing some of you. And if we can't, force your hand to play ball with Wike. Now, upon your reinstatement, we will just have to empower the State House of Assembly to go ahead and get you removed. That kind of, is like a game changer now. And on the side of the Fubaras and Ijos, who have taken initially was Wike versus Fubara. Then it became Wike versus the Ijos and others. So these buzz goes here and there. Where is that going to lead everyone? Or is that just going to disappear like normally, right? When people don't have, I'm saying that if the Fubaras and his group are by any chance responsible, right? So if they don't have this same state structure of carrying that out, does that mean that the buzz will stop? Or it is actually going to escalate now, that the impression among these warring sides or the side of a Fubara will be where Wike has gotten the upper hand now, where Wike has appointed his friend to be in charge of River State. So this evening, some people cited some of the trucks of this, the military trucks in Port Harcourt. That is the present situation in River State, in Port Harcourt, to be precise, as Fubara and others are expected to possibly just lay low or leave town. You get what I mean? What about the National Assembly? Because immediately Tinubu finished that recording, the cut and join recording, right? He said in that state, he said he has forwarded, or he will be forwarding his declaration to the National Assembly for ratification. And of course, they are going to ratify it for him. Straight up, right? So from now on, people are going to be discussing the legality of this, and can their courts, the compromised judiciary of now, can they by any means disobey Tinubu, right? By, by kind of like avoiding the state of emergency declared